Lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 lai
Shabbat Shalom. It is a joy to welcome congregants and friends and guests as we join together to celebrate Shabbat here in the sanctuary, and welcome to all joining us online. Cantor Hyman and Rabbi Friedman and our Board of Directors member Michelle Brancho-Fogg, who's joining us on the Bima. Welcome, everyone, and let's be sure to be among community. Please take a moment to turn around and find someone new to greet.
I got some opening day in a couple days. That'll be
It was
yeah.
it's next Thursday, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, right during that Pops gig, man.
Oh, yeah.
You could watch at least.
What time is that?
I think the game's like 3 or 4 or something.
No, I mean the gig.
The gig's like 6 or something.
Oh, it is. Because originally, I wanted to get that, but it was supposed to start like 10 a.m. or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's like when he first called me, it was like, yeah, we might put you guys up the night before, and I said, okay, that's cool. But then the next thing goes, oh no, man, we can leave at 8 a.m. in the morning. You'll be there in 2 hours. And I'm thinking, that ain't gonna happen. Harrisburg in 2 hours.
Oh.
But then they changed the time.
Right. Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, because when he hired me, I think Ron was supposed to do it, but when he hired me, it was already at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, 5, whatever it is now.
The original thing, because even Bestone was going to do it originally, and he had to teach later on, so when they changed the time.
I don't know if I would have been crazy about even staying overnight in Harrisburg.
Well,
No.
I just thought,
That's cool that they would have done that.
yeah, if they were going to do that, pay us for the mileage.
Yeah. I'm curious who's going to be there. Like, Matt said some political people.
Yeah.
Shapiro sighting or something. I was thinking, what if I programmed an entire set of tunes with like, where the title could be construed as like a political kind of statement, right? I should care. I don't know. You could do Isfahan for Iran. You know, like I thought
Change the time.
change it a little bit.
Later on,
There you go, man. That's what I'm saying.
I'll take tag.
Yeah. What? I learned that tune with you. Was that Kevin McConnell's ensemble? Yeah. No, I should care. I think right. That was that with Kevin McConnell, right? I remember him bringing that in. It's the first time I ever played it. Still know it. Probably from that. We shed that. For real. Wake up.
We welcome Cheryl and Ralph Pincus forward as we kindle our Shabbat lights, turning in our prayer books to page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Our Shabbat Kiddush is on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר לציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים.
In the evenings, when I leave our building, I have a habit of looking up at the sky and noticing its beauty, in particular, the beauty of the moon. And I tend to have a conversation, usually with the last security guard on shift that night, about the moon and its beauty. And I tend to not notice what phase it is in. And in a recent conversation with my clergy team, I realized they are always noticing the phase, and I am never noticing the phase. I am constantly catching up with them. And so I am trying now to notice what phase of the moon we are in. And if you see me leave the building, I welcome you to notice that with me and remind me. This week it should be easy because we just observed yesterday Rosh Chodesh, which is the start of the new Hebrew month. We just began the Hebrew month of Nisan, and because we are getting ready for Pesach, we know that it's this special month that is now starting, and because Judaism is in partially a lunar calendar, the Hebrew months are a lunar and then hybrid calendar so that we remain in the season as well, we are going to know what phase it is by the fact that yesterday was the new Hebrew month, right? So if yesterday was the new Hebrew month, what are we looking for in the sky tonight? What are we looking for? Like the tiniest sliver, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't, because it's going to be so tiny, and there'll be a little bit more of a sliver that is developing in the next days. Right? I think it's called, do you know what that's called? The first sliver? That's a hint. I think it's the waxing moon. I think that's what it's called. What's that? Waxing is growing. Yeah, exactly. So it's just starting to grow. Right, we're about to see a little bit more. So look with me look with me in the evenings. See if you notice as we start to move towards the middle of the Hebrew month and towards that full moon. And I think if I saw it right, I've been looking at this all day. So I think if I studied it right, actually the growth of the light happens from right to left. I think that's right. Does that sound right? Does that sound right? I mean, that was all. I think that's right. So you'll see if I'm right. Test me, right? You'll let me know when you leave. All right. So the point is, in Judaism, certainly on Shabbat, also with the new Hebrew month, with the new moon, we are constantly finding ways to mark time that might otherwise be unnoticeable, that otherwise we might miss, that otherwise might feel not terribly meaningful. We find a way to say different moments in time are not the same and are sacred. And so we welcome Shabbat with a sense of what it means to bring a sacred appreciation to different kinds of time. And rooting ourselves in time, we strive now, this Shabbat, to be in the present. And so we take a deep breath and release, turning from the noise of the week to the peace and the joy and the presence of this sacred time of Shabbat. We turn to page 10 and join together in Hine Matov.
Hine matov u'manai, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manai, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manai, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
With the joy of Shabbat, we welcome Lecha Dodi, pages 20 and 21.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. La 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'letechila. La 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat nechu v'nilcha, ki hi mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machashavat chila. La 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. לך לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך ומאורי, אורי שיר דברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לה לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
It's a tradition to rise to welcome Shabbat.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לה לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לה לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Turning to page 28, we continue with our call to worship.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Page 31. Together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim.
Page 33. Together. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 34.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Page 36. Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 39. Together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 40.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר וקודש, נורא תהילו עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילו עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי ענו ואמרו, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך באלים אדוני.
The 20th century sage, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, taught, "A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day." Page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת לעשות, את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ברית עולם.
Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. Page 46 and following. Please rise for the Amidah.
Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. In a moment, we'll be on page 61 for a blessing for peace. As we continue to pray for the safety of friends and family, of brothers and sisters in Israel, these words from Tag Meir, doing coexistence work in Israel and countering hate crimes and religious racism, they share these words. We send our deepest condolences to the Alma Salma family from the village of Beit Awa, near Hebron. Following this devastating tragedy, 4 women from the family were killed last night by an Iranian missile strike. Asil Subhi, Ta'ala Omar, Hadil Walid, and Araz Mohammed. May their memory be a blessing. Enemy missiles do not distinguish between Arabs and Jews. They strike innocent people and families, like 70-year-old Alana and Yaron Moshe of blessed memory from Ramat Gan, who were also killed by a missile only the night before, leaving behind pain and grief. In moments like these, a simple truth becomes clear. Human life must come first, and the pain is shared. We stand with the family in their time of sorrow and send strength to all those affected by violence and war, Jews and Arabs alike. May their memory be a blessing. With prayers for peace, we continue together on page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We take these moments for silent prayer.
עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, אמן. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. ועל כל ישראל, amen.
I just returned from the convention of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, the annual conference of the CCAR, and while there, had the opportunity to participate in lots of learning sessions, and included in my schedule a meditation session. And in this meditation, Rabbi Sidney Mintz taught the following line. She said, "The world may be broken, but we are not." Maybe she's right. We have healing to do, but our spirits are not broken. As we turn to page 253 for our Mishaberach, our blessing for healing, if you have a loved one in need of healing, mind, body, or spirit, please add that name to the comments online or speak it aloud now.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Our thoughts now turn from thoughts of brokenness to thoughts of gratitude and joy as we prepare to sing our blessing, Shehechianu, thanking God for giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this moment in time. I hope you all have something to celebrate this Shabbat, and if there's a simcha, a joyous moment in your life, we would love to hear from you. So what do we got? Anyone got anything good to share? John.
So Rabbi Maynard, while I can appreciate you, it's all good. For me, as you know, one of my favorite things is coming home late, finding that perfect parking spot.
Yes, the South Philly parking gods.
That's right. And earlier this week, a friend of mine at work was really struggling with something, and I stayed until about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I worked outside the city, and I came home, coming down the street, and the universe rewarded me with that perfect spot.
Wow. Wow. I love that. The universe rewarded you with that spot for doing a mitzvah. There was something there, John. Beautiful. Yes, I love it. I love it. What else? What else are we celebrating? Parking is worth celebrating. Beth. Welcome, Michelle. It's great to have you with us. Yeah, Eric. A promotion. Mazel tov. Oh, it's wonderful. What else? Yeah, Cheryl. Big birthday for Ralph. All right. Happy birthday. Yom Huledet Sameach. Mazel tov. Ad 120, as we say, to 120. Said he's almost there. Not quite. Not quite. What else? Yeah, Kathy.
So happy spring.
Officially spring. That's something to celebrate.
Shabbos, obviously. My friend Tracy is joining us tonight. And it's my birthday today.
Wow, so many wonderful things. Spring, your birthday, and Tracy is here. Happy birthday, Yom Huledet Sameach. Ad 120 to you too as well, to 120. All right. Oh, yeah, Chloe. Amazing. You got to present at Kappa your creative writing presentation along with you and your classmates. And I love the way you lifted up your classmates and how well they did. And I think you probably did amazing as well. I'm looking at your parents right now and yeah. Wow. And Priya was there and did a great job too. All the mazzles around. I love that. All right. Well, we have one more very exciting thing that we are celebrating, which is Stephanie Orwashel has become one of the newest members of the Jewish people. And so we are so excited to welcome her up for a very special blessing. I invite the congregation to please rise. Stephanie is joined tonight along with her husband, Nate, and so many of his family, her in-laws and aunt, and we have a brother and sister-in-law and some friends. You got a whole cheering section here with you to celebrate. Come on up. Stephanie has been a wonderful student of Judaism for a couple years now. I think you took intro 2-3 years ago already, maybe. Yeah. Oh, it was only last year. Okay, come on up here. See, time flies. But how wonderful to have you now. And we got to do our Beit Din and our mikveh last week. And how exciting that you guys are building this beautiful Jewish home together. Stephanie, you stand before the open ark and before the commanding presence of the Torah, the Jewish people's most cherished treasure. It has led us on the way and guided us ever since we received it at Sinai. It's been carried during our times of greatest rejoicing. As I now place the Torah in your arms, I pray that you take it into your heart and that it sustains you as it has done our Jewish people since the beginnings. Got it. It's heavy, right? You are known by the name Stephanie, which means you are always linked in love to those who gave you life. And from this time forth, you shall also be known within our Jewish community as Ariella bat Avraham Vasara. This beautiful name, Ariella, that you chose is the Lion of God. And we talked a lot about how, I think especially this conversion, you have a really deep personal connection with God, actually, and how much sort of prayer in the Jewish setting has really brought comfort to you throughout your life. May you continue to have that relationship. May this name bring respect and honor to the Jewish people. We rejoice to welcome in our midst one who willingly and devotedly helps replenish the ranks of our people. As we have done throughout the ages, I ask God's blessing upon you now in these ancient words. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light, God's presence, shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence be with you and grant you God's most precious gift, the gift of peace. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Let us all say, Amen. Mazel tov. For this blessing and all the blessings in our community, we join together in gratitude. Mazel tov.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Please be seated. So we know by the moon that we are less than 2 weeks away from Passover, and you know what that means. And Rabbi Mader, I'm sorry to be so triggering here, because I know you haven't started your cleaning yet, but it is time for our Passover cleaning. And of course, the famous Bidikat Chametz, the search for Chametz. Some of you may be familiar with this tradition. Chametz, of course, means those leavened products in our house, right? Bread and crackers and all sorts of things like that. And it means that somewhere in your house right now, behind a couch cushion or in the pocket of a jacket you haven't worn since Hanukkah, there is a Cheez-It. And that Cheez-It is judging you. In the days before Passover begins, Jewish tradition asks us to search our homes and remove every last trace of chametz, that leavened bread, anything made with fermented grain, anything that is puffed up. You go through the whole house, every cabinet, every shelf. Some even go through their car, the bottom of your bag. And I will say, I think this is perhaps the only religious obligation where you might end up on your hands and knees behind a fridge at 11 o'clock at night. And I love it. There's something so just clarifying about this process, this spring cleaning that we go through. You find things you forget you owned, you find things maybe you wish you had never bought, and you find inevitably that Cheez-It. But here's where I really want to go tonight, because it's not about the Cheez-It. I mean, you have to find the Cheez-It. Don't eat it. So many times, you're like cleaning up after kids and it's like habit. It's awful. Get the Cheez-It, but the Cheez-It is not the point. Because our tradition has always understood chametz, that puffed up, risen things, that inflated stuff, as a symbol, something that lives inside of us, not just in our pantries. Think about what leavening actually does. You take simple ingredients, flour, water, and you introduce a little yeast, and it starts to ferment. It rises. And in that little bowl, maybe you're making challah, it takes up more and more space. It becomes something bigger than it actually is. That process, that inflating, that puffing up, is what our tradition points to about our ego, about arrogance. That part of us that quietly, persistently believes that we are the most important person in the room and that everything we have to say is the most important thing. There's actually a 1,000-year-old rabbinic prayer that I recently just studied with our young adults at Yard's Brewery last night. And by the way, beer is not kosher for Passover. Sorry. Cider is. Good call, Lisa. There we go. This is a prayer that one of the rabbis says he adds it to his daily prayers. And the prayer is very simple. He says, God, you know we want to do right, so what gets in the way? And then he answers his own question and he says, the yeast in the dough. He's not talking about the literal dough. This is his phrase for what we call in Hebrew the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, which in this case is that leavening within us, the thing that ferments in the dark and makes us rise up in ways we didn't intend. Perhaps it's our defensiveness, the need to be right, the inability to hear feedback, the voice that says our needs are more urgent. That is the chametz the tradition wants us to find. Now, there's a beautiful story that comes actually from this week's Torah portion about Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher. Some of you know that every Torah scroll is written by hand by a sofer, soferet. We actually had some amazing sofrot, that's the female plural for a scribe, in our community a couple years ago to do some work on our scrolls, and we got to really look at them. And there's interesting scribal techniques in the Torah where certain letters are written a little bit differently than others. In this week's Torah portion, Vayikra, the very beginning of the book of Leviticus, it begins with this word Vayikra. And there's one letter, the last letter of Vayikra, that is written smaller. It's this aleph that's written smaller than all the rest. So what is going on here? The tradition says that Moses put it there on purpose. Traditionally, Moses wrote the Torah, and every scribe since has copied it in that exact way. So here's the backstory. Vayikra means, and God called. A calling, if you think about that word, it implies intimacy, it implies intention. God singling out, calling Moses by name. Now there's another word that if you got rid of the aleph at the end of that word vayikra, it would actually be the word vayikar. Vayikar, which is almost identical, just without that aleph, means something completely different. It means God happened upon, God chanced or encountered this person sort of randomly, stumbled upon them. And actually, we see this word later in our Torah, in the book of Numbers, when it talks about this non-Jewish sort of false prophet named Bilam, who God does speak with and encounter, but it's clearly a different sort of meaning. It's a vayikar, just a chance happen upon, as opposed to Moses, which is this calling, this vayikra. So the story goes that when Moses sat down to write this part of the Torah, God said, Moses, you're going to write vayikra. And Moses said, no, God. Who am I? You could have found anyone. You just happened upon me. It's not me. Our tradition says that Moses was more humble than any other person. That was what Moses was known for. And Moses said, I just want to write Vayikar. And God said, no, Moses. I singled you out. I chose you. You were the only person who could have done this. Think about it. The prince of Egypt. You are the one who parted the sea, who stood before Pharaoh, who climbed Mount Sinai and brought back the 10 Commandments. And yet, when Moses was coming down to writing his own story, he thought God just happened upon him. So they go back and forth. Moses says Vayikar, God says Vayikra. Moses says Vayikar, God says Vayikra. And eventually, they compromise. And Moses writes a small aleph. Small enough to say, I'm writing what you asked me to write, but I want you to know, God, I'm still not entirely comfortable with it. I find that so human. And I find it really instructive that the Torah preserves this moment, not just what Moses wrote, but the evidence of his reluctance to write it. Most of us know what that feels like. We've been in rooms where we had something real to offer, and we talked ourselves out of offering it. We've had moments when someone maybe asked us to take up space, to lead something, to speak, to say that hard thing, and we found 100 reasons why someone else should do it. We've all made ourselves smaller than we need to, and perhaps called it modesty. Moses wrote it small, which means he still wrote it. So here's where it gets complicated, because Passover is not simply asking us to be humble. When we look at this story, we realize it's asking us to be appropriately sized, because there's actually a danger in being too humble, in not taking up enough space. There's a famous story from our tradition in the Talmud which talks about the destruction of the Second Temple. Some of you know it. I've told it a few times here about Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. I'm not going to go into the whole story again. If you want to know it, I'll tell you another time. It's a good story. But the end of the story, actually a part that we often don't tell, is really interesting. Because at the very end of the story, the rabbis say, the excessive humility of one particular rabbi, Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkalos, destroyed the temple, burned the sanctuary, and sent us into exile. What was this excessive humility? What happened was, and without going through the whole story of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa, there was a political crisis, something that required, in this moment, a person of authority to stand up and take up space and actually make a ruling that was sort of against the tradition but would have saved our people. And Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkalos kept deferring. You can imagine him. He kept asking himself, who am I to make this call? What gives me the right to do it? And he made himself too small. And the situation escalated, and it was too late. The rabbis are unsparing in their verdict. They don't call his behavior humble. They call it excessive humility, a misapplication, a failure dressed up as a virtue. The contemporary Jewish teacher Alan Marinas, who has brought the ancient tradition of Musar, which is sort of ethical self-examination, offers what I think is perhaps one of the best definitions of humility. He says that humility is occupying the space that is yours while leaving room for others. That's the real search. That's the bidikat chametz. That's the real search for chametz. That if we think about it like a spectrum where we can be too humble, like Zechariah ben Avkalos, or we can be totally on the other end, taking up way too much space. I can think of some people, I won't name them. Ultimately, our job is to find out where are we on that spectrum and which direction do we need to move in so that we can be more whole, so that we can have balance. I think Moses got it right because he still wrote the letter, but he wrote it small. That feels like the goal to me. Not to flatten ourselves into nothing and not to fill every room we enter, but to show up fully, honestly, in the exact space that is ours to occupy. This Pesach, as we begin our Bidikat Chametz, our search for that leavening in our homes and in our souls, may we each find what is puffed up and have the courage to let it go. May we each find where we falsely shrunk and have the courage to let it grow. And may we find our way somehow to that space that exactly, precisely the right size for us. Shabbat Shalom. We turn back in our prayer books now to page 282, followed by 287. For Aleinu, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. This week, our congregation observes yahrzeit for the following on whose shoulders we stand: Margaret K. Abrams, Rosalind Adelson, Jenny S. Adler, Bella Alexander, Charles E. Asherman, Charles K. Bacharach, Reba Cates Bachman, Jonah Barber, Nancy Bellardo, Stephen Berkowitz, Elizabeth Sophia Binswanger, Frank Bowman, Samuel Brand, Benjamin Cohen, Hannah M. Cohen, Frank I. Cohen, Melvin Cooper, Celia Frank, Anna Freed, George T. Gainey, Charles David Gertston, Herbert Ginsburg, Louis Goldberg, Lillian M. Goldman, Albert G. Gorson, Lillian Y. Gritz, Harry J. Guberman, Catherine G. Hahn, Hilda Hayner, Walter Herzberg, Leopold Hirsch, Sheldon Jakowski, Lee Jubilier, Beulah S. Kahn, Julius Cotterer, Kenneth Kirschbaum, Elizabeth Kessler, Shirley Clare, Sarah Khrushchev, Natalie Pincus Krieger, Bernard Krieger, Rhoda Lempert, Charles J. Levi, Sidney Lowenstein, Timothy Margulies, Myra Meyer, Joan Kahn Miller, Rosalie Makovsky, Susan Schreeren Moss, Roger W. Muchnick Jr., Samuel Netsky, Betty New, Sarah Levinson Nissenson, Jane M. Oppenheimer, Ernst Pincus, Jennifer Pincus, Emily K. Price, Martin Padell, Julia Simpson Rabb, Deborah Charleston Raddick, Alexander D. Reinheimer, Cecilia Hart Rosenthal, Harry N. Rosinski, Sidney Lewis Schriro, Earl S. Scott, Betty Seidman, Albert Sharp, Sally Shore, Stephen David Silverman, Gail Stern, Nanette F. Stern, Lena Sternberger, Fred Strauss, Sarah Goldsmith Van Ullem, Sandra Roth Warshall, Amy Walgen Weiner, Gertrude Wilson, Peggy L. Wallman, Louis Wallman, Jan Zinman. We add the names of those who've been taken from our midst, but not from our hearts, in these most recent days for whom we are observing Shaloshim, the 30 days of mourning. Harriet Ansell, Nelson Franklin Bailey, Judith S. Crystal, Jerry Greenberg, Gerard Benjamin Katz, Miriam Mitzi Mackler, Rosalind Schwartz. If you are observing Yahrzeit or Shaloshim or remembering a loved one whose name was not mentioned, I invite you online to write their names in the chat and here in the sanctuary to speak those names aloud at this time. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. We turn to page 294 and rise as a community for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash Shemei Rabbah, Bi'ama divrach erotei v'amlich malchutei, B'chayechon v'yomechon, Uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman karib v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam omei omaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal, Shmei d'kudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace and comfort to all, and let us say, Amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, Amen.
It's my pleasure to welcome forward Michelle Brancho-Fogg.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, thank you. On Thursday, March 26th at 5 p.m., join us for Connect RS and help call RS members. Each spring, we reach out to every RS household to wish them a happy Passover and check in. Lists will be available if you are unable to make calls in person or if you would like to take more home with you. Thank you to Sansucci's on North Broad for providing dinner, and if that's not enough reason to help make calls, I don't know what is. See your program for registration information, and of course, if you are new to Rodef Shalom, a special welcome to you. Please see Lynn Edelman back there in the purple, waving her arm, Board of Advisors member, to learn more following the service.
Conclude with words of blessing.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav v'elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav v'elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless us and keep us.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine upon us, and may God be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May we feel God's presence within us always, and may we find peace. Ken Yiratzon, may this be God's will. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.